Have you ever felt stuck? Like you're just going through the motions, trapped in a life that doesn't really feel like your own? Well, today we're going to dive into a book that offers a seriously powerful way to break free from that exact feeling, to finally shatter that cocoon we all find ourselves in and, really be reborn.
And let's just start with this feeling, because the book just captures it perfectly. It's that pressure, right? That anxiety, that feeling of being totally weighed down by modern life. It's this sense that something is just deeply, deeply wrong, but you can't quite figure out what it is or how in the world you're supposed to escape it.
So this feeling, this experience of being stuck and overwhelmed and disconnected is what the author Ming Chie calls the cocoon. It's kind of like this rigid, standardized mold that society presses us into, and it just leaves us feeling hollowed out. And the whole point is this: our real journey only begins when we finally realize we're inside this self-made prison and decide we want out.
But what if breaking out of that cocoon isn't just some nice idea? What if it's a real, tangible possibility? Well, get this. The author's own story is some of the most dramatic, almost unbelievable proof you'll ever see that a total transformation is possible, no matter how bad things seem.
I mean, just look at this journey. It's a path from the absolute rock-bottom depths of despair to a place of pure inspiration. The author openly admits that his first book was literally meant to be a suicide note, but in the process of writing it, something shifted. He tapped into some kind of deeper wisdom, and it completely rewrote his entire destiny. So this isn't just theory, right? This is wisdom that was forged in fire.
So how did he pull off this quantum leap? Well, the book explains that the very first step is to understand where all our internal struggle comes from. And it all comes down to a battle between two very different voices inside our heads, constantly fighting for our attention.
And here they are, the two sides of that conflict. On one side, you've got the mind, the tonao. It's that logical, fearful part of you that's always obsessed with asking how. It's the part that sees every single obstacle. But on the other side, you've got the inner God, the Neizai de Shen. Now this is your intuition, your soul. It doesn't need a 5-step plan. It just knows. And here's the best metaphor for it. Think of your life as a movie. The mind, that's the actor on the screen, totally trapped in the plot. But your inner God, that's the projector, creating the entire film. And the problem is, we spend most of our lives listening to the actor when we should be talking to the director.
Okay, so if your inner God is the projector, how do you actually get into the projection booth and take control? The book gives us an amazing core tool for this, and it illustrates it with this brilliant concept of the life lever.
We all know how a lever works, right? A tiny bit of force can move a huge object if you've got the right setup. Well, this exact same idea applies to our lives. The book suggests that you don't actually have to struggle and hustle and fight to change things. You just need to understand the mechanics of your own inner power.
Now here's the breakdown. Most of us, we put all our energy into the effort, the actions, the hustle. We just try to push harder. Or we focus on the lever, getting more skills, more money, more resources. But here's the real kicker. The book argues that both of those are totally useless without a rock-solid foundation in step 1, the fulcrum. And what is that fulcrum? It's what you truly, deep down, believe to be true about yourself and about the world. And this quote it nails the whole concept. You can want to be successful. You can want to be happy all day long. But if your deep-seated, unconscious belief is, I'm not worthy, or life is just a struggle, well, that's the reality your inner projector is going to keep creating for you. Your beliefs, not your wishes, are the actual blueprint for your life.
Okay, so if belief is the fulcrum, how in the world do you build a strong one? Especially when your current reality seems to prove the exact opposite. I mean, when you're struggling, how do you just start believing things will get better? Well, the book offers a really surprising first step, a powerful practice it calls acceptance. Now, this right here is a critical distinction. Because when we hear the word acceptance, a lot of us think of giving up, resigning ourselves to our fate. But that is not what this is about at all. It's an active, conscious choice to simply stop fighting with what is.
Let's really break this down. Resignation is saying, I'm broke, and I guess that's just my lot in life. Nothing I can do. It puts you in a state of total powerlessness. Acceptance, on the other hand, is saying, okay, I acknowledge that my bank account is empty right now. I'm not going to waste energy denying it or panicking about it or blaming anyone. I see it clearly. By doing that, you stop the internal war. You free up all that energy you were using to fight reality, and suddenly you have the clarity and the power to actually change it.
So we've looked at the problem of the cocoon. We've seen that inner conflict between the mind and the inner God, and we have the tools for change, the life lever, and acceptance. So how do we put all these pieces together to create our own breakthrough?
What this all boils down to is something that's actually pretty simple, but also incredibly profound. Your life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. The power to change everything isn't out there somewhere. It's not in a new job or a new relationship or more money. It's right there in the fulcrum of your own belief system. And the master key to strengthening that fulcrum is to first accept where you are, right now without any resistance.
Ultimately, the book's message is this incredibly empowering declaration of your own creative power. It basically hands you the script and puts you in the director's chair of your own life. And that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to ask ourselves. What cocoon, what limitations, what fears, what old stories are you ready to break free from?